Hi, welcome to Fired Up with CJ. Today we have Lisa Baretta, who is doing a personalized astrological reading for you. All you need to have is your astrological sign, and she's going to give you some predictions for 2014. So welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
So tell us about what different people of different astrological signs can expect in 2014. In the previous video segment, we were talking about general big planetary shifts that will happen. What's that going to look like for each particular person?
Okay, we're going to start with Aries, the first sign.
Okay.
Well, Aries is experiencing what we talked about previously, that Pluto-Uranus aspect. So a lot of Aries are going to find that they need to make some type of a change. It doesn't mean they're going to run away from their family or their home or do something crazy, but it means they're at a point now where they're starting to look like, let me reinvent myself a little bit. And they're going to find this happening throughout the year, especially because the eclipses are going to be in Aries and Libra, so they may find opportunities that come upon them. I really feel that once we get into August, September, there's going to be an opportunity for a lot of Aries if they want to start something new, a new creative venture, their own business, maybe even a new relationship. And they also are going to be dealing with some issues around fixing up a home or finishing up something with a home, because they still have Jupiter, that expansive planet, in their fourth house of home. So they may be refinancing, redecorating, or maybe even planning a move.
Wow. So lots of different areas of their life are going to be affected, not just.
Oh, they'll have an interesting year.
Yeah. Okay. What about the next astrological sign?
The next one is Taurus. A lot of Tauruses have been feeling the eclipses that have been going on in the Taurus-Scorpio axis. They're feeling that heavy Scorpio, Saturn and Scorpio energy in their relationship sector, which means a lot of responsibility. So they may have found themselves this past year taking care of a partner who was sick or helping them out financially. It also means that as Tauruses really don't like change, and they also could have found this year could have had a few more changes than they wanted to handle, but they weathered it. They were really troopers, and they're going to find that next year is going to be a lot easier than the past year and a half for them, which is nice, and they'll see an improvement in situations.
Yeah, my two sons are Tauruses, and it has been that way for them. So I think they'll be happy to know that next year it'll get better.
It's better.
Okay, what are the other signs? What we should expect for the other signs?
Next, we have Gemini.
Oh, I love Geminis.
Yeah, this is going to be good for Gemini. Gemini has already gone through all of their shifts and changes a few years ago, maybe about 3-4 years ago. Maybe they were getting out of relationships or moving and trying to get resettled in a job. This year for Geminis in 2014, they're really going to find that, things are easier. There's more of a flow to their relationships. A lot of the drama that was associated with their personal relationships looks like it's going to quell down a little bit. Also for Geminis, they're going to, this may entail some type of a move for them also, where they may decide like, hey, maybe I want to make a move. Maybe I want to scale down a little bit too. And the thing that's great about Gemini is they're a mutable sign, and they're always open for change, which is great, because when the little planets come by, especially Mercury, because they're ruled by Mercury, when that goes retrograde, that's the only time Gemini sometimes will feel a little bit of upheaval in their life.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think they can finally say, wow, okay, I'm home free. 2014 is not bad. It's good. And actually, they probably are coming into like the tail end of a pretty good financial year too, the end of this year and up until March of 2014. So they should take advantage of that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, and I think that it's interesting because there's been so much change, and so contrasting Taurus, which has a hard time with change, and they've had a hard time, versus Gemini, where they've already adapted the changes and everything is good.
They like change.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. Okay, what comes after Gemini?
Okay, after Gemini, we have Cancer. Now, in 2013, Cancer has experienced their Jupiter return, where Jupiter has been gone through their sign, which brings in abundance. Of course, if it's on your rising sign or ascendant, that's not good, because it could mean you put on a few pounds, but no biggie. You can always take that off. Jupiter's nice. It brings, they should have found that 2013 brought them a lot of opportunities for new friendships that are going to continue on into 2014. And when this planet moves into their second house of possessions and money, Cancers are going to start to feel a renewed I guess you could say, feeling of financial security where they maybe have been feeling a little bit shaky over the past 2 or 3 years. They're going to start to finally feel that an investment could pay off. They could see their finances grow. They could be in a relationship that adds to their finances. So Cancers are okay. They've had a nice 2013. Of course, a few squares from that Uranus, it affects them too.
Right.
Maybe made some relationship things up and down where there was some uncertainty, but for the most part, it will be a nice 2014 for them.
Okay. And then what? Is it Leo after? Who comes after?
Leo.
Okay.
Oh, Leos, this is it. Well, 2014, starting the summer of 2014, this is going to be your season. Now you get your turn with Jupiter. And Leos do well with that because Jupiter puts you in the spotlight. It lets you shine. It brings you the recognition that Leos feel they deserve. So they're going to find that this could be a year where they do find themselves, more in the spotlight. It doesn't mean you have to be a movie star, but you could shine at work. The things that you do, you're noticed for everything that you've done. A personal project that they're working on could suddenly take off. It's really not bad for Leo. So 2014 is going to be good for them. They have to watch, though, that they don't get a little bit carried away or overly optimistic financially, because we don't want to see them make any bad impulsive investments. So that's the only thing they need to watch for. If they're going to make an investment, think it over. They should find that they feel good this year. Their health should even feel like a lot better. Some Leos maybe have felt a little under the weather or strange aches and pains, but 2014 we'll find them regenerating themselves, and it'll be nice for Leos.
Yeah. Okay. How about the next sign?
Virgos. Okay, what we have with Virgos have been dealing with, the planet Neptune has moved into their 7th house of partnership, and Neptune has not been there for years and years and years. So a lot of Virgos are starting to feel, wow, was this relationship I'm in, was it just an illusion? Is it not what I thought it was? So they don't like that. Virgos like everything in its place, and they like to know where everything is, and they want it predictable. And all of a sudden they may find that the relationship they're in, or even friends, are acting kind of Neptunian, a little bit out there, flaky and unreliable. So what they don't have to panic. What it means, just get with the flow, like honor somebody's kind of whimsical attitude, and don't expect your friends or your partners to always have to fall into your schedule, and you'll have a good 2014. You'll also find out that things are going to open up as far as anything to do with technology, communication. A lot of Virgos could even find that they might finally bite the bullet and get a new car too. Or a computer, a car or computer. Just don't buy it during a Mercury retrograde. No cars or computers during a retrograde.
Oh, I didn't realize that you don't even buy stuff during that time. I know it's you may have difficulty with your computers and technical stuff, but don't buy either.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it. I've done that. I've done it. I don't know why I've done it, because it was on sale. I've done it, and it broke. And
really?
I should know better.
No, that's awful.
I know.
Okay, that's good to know, though. That's a good tip. Okay, what's the next sign after Virgo?
The next line after Virgo is Libra.
Okay.
Now Libra's coming off Saturn on their sun, and Libra's like everything in balance. They just like, the scales are going to be balanced. But Saturn was pretty heavy for them for the past 2 years. So a lot of Libras were like, wow, what happened to my nice, calm, beautiful Venus-ruled life? There's just like too much responsibility, and they were not feeling their usual happy, beautiful self. But now that it's moved into Scorpio, which is their 2nd house, they may be like, okay, it's time now. I could see everything I went through was almost like emotional boot camp. Now I'm ready to tackle the real world again. Actually, that Saturn going through their sign made them stronger. So a lot of Libras now will find themselves better able to take care of their own finances, not needing to rely on a partner so much. With that Uranus going through their 7th house, some of them may find themselves newly single, separated, but that's okay, because it just makes room for somebody else maybe more interesting, or possibly just get to know yourself a little bit better, and then when you get back together with the person who's having a little bit of flux in the relationship, you approach them differently, and it's better for everyone involved. So they may have a little bit of relationship issues. Not all Libras, like I said, it depends on your rising sign too, but the ones that are, just know that it's okay, because you've learned your Saturn lessons, and you'll be able to handle your finances just fine. And also your alone time. Yeah. Libras are going to find that they can handle alone time more so than they ever thought.
Okay, what comes after Libra?
Scorpio.
Oh, Scorpio. Tough year for those guys.
Okay, Scorpio, you've been hit with the eclipses, so you've had changes come upon you. A lot of Scorpios have found out who is in their corner and who isn't in their corner, but they probably already knew intuitively anyway. Saturn there is giving you the opportunity to grow and expand yourself. And I do feel that before this last phase of the eclipses finish out, I feel by spring of 2014, we may find a lot of Scorpios into some new ventures, taking on a business, maybe even getting into a partnership with someone too. Yeah. And they're good to have around because they are almost a Geiger counter for if you're in a meeting and then you leave the meeting, go, what did you think? They'll be very honest with you. They see things that other people don't see, or I should say they feel things, So Scorpios are going to find that this is a year that it still may be a little bit, hard to get used to a new routine. Some of them have left traditional jobs that are 9 to 5 and have already started their own businesses, but it's good. I mean, they can weather pretty much anything. They're very resilient. And there's a lot of synchronicities for them in 2014.
And some of the other signs, sorry. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, there's a lot of synchronicities coming up for them too in 2014. Right place, right time, bumping into somebody you haven't seen in years. All of a sudden, it's just the missing part of the puzzle that you need.
Now, when you're talking about certain signs, and the previous sign, you said it depends on your rising side. So you may or may not have relationship issues. Depends on your rising side. Is that true of something like Scorpio, where you have a planet right in Scorpio? Is that also true, or is it pretty much all Scorpios are going to go through the thing that you mentioned?
Well, just say there's a Scorpio, and the Scorpio is born at 12 noon. So instead of being a Scorpio rising, they may find themselves a Scorpio Aquarius rising. So what they need to do when they read the horoscope is read Scorpio and read Aquarius. Because the timing is going to go by your rising sign. And unless you're born at sunrise, usually at sunrise, your rising sign and your sun sign are the same. So if you're not born at sunrise, you may feel like, that doesn't fit me, or my horoscope didn't come true.
Okay, so read both of those signs, and someplace in between those things will be what
you'll gather all the information you need to know.
I didn't realize. Okay, and then what happened? So we're now in October, November. So what happens after? Is it November, December? What's the next person?
After Scorpio, well, I'm a new thought astrologer. I put Ophiuchus in there, the 13th sign of the zodiac, but I've got a lot of slack for that. So we're going to go right on to Sagittarius.
Okay.
Sagittarius, they are, you know what? They land on their feet. They know how to laugh at themselves. So at 2014, even if there are challenges for them, they find a way to look at the bright side. But actually for Sagittarians, what we have going on with them, we have this weird little square coming in from Neptune, which means they're usually optimistic, but don't be overly optimistic. Look before you leave. It will be a year of opportunities for them. A lot of them may even find themselves in relationships that's come about in a very unusual way. Maybe not so much online dating, but it could just be bumping into somebody. So the single Sagittarians are going to just happen upon relationships that they never thought would happen. The thing is, they like their freedom. And you need some heavy anchors in a Sagittarian sign to make them want to give up that freedom, because there's a multitude of choices out there. So they may find that 2014, that multitude of choices are cropping up. So let's hope they're anchored. Or if you're involved with a Sagittarian, let's hope that they're anchored, because you don't want them to wander away. They have to be careful with their money in 2014, not because any investments are going to tank out, but because they may have a tendency to want to overspend or do things in a big way. So it's better if they just keep an eye on finances, at least until we get into June, July, and August, and it gives them, then they'll have enough money saved up. They like to travel, so I would be surprised if there was a Sagittarian out there who did not have some trip planned for 2014.
Yeah.
But they're usually the good guys, and when you need a friend, you can count on them to be there for you.
All right, so here's a question I have. So a lot of these have, in your relationships, this may be happening. You may find a new mate. So what does that mean if you're married and you're happily married? When I hear those kind of relationship things, I think, well, what does that mean? So how does someone who's married and happily married interpret some of those things?
Oh, they have ways of interpreting it. Believe me, that my when I do my psychic reading business, you'd be surprised how creative people get when they start to interpret their new friends. You know, it doesn't count if it's online because there's no physical contact.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a curiosity, and I think in any relationship we have to be realistic, whether it's a friendship or even a partnership. Uh, the human nature sometimes makes us, open the Pandora's box and look inside. It doesn't mean you have to take the next step. I mean, there's still such a thing as to loyalty and respect and trust in a relationship. They're cornerstones of any good relationship.
Right.
But every now and then, I mean, if
Yeah, you're going to be pulled by that energy to kind of look around.
yeah, it's
Don't
like
be
being at a
surprised.
smorgasbord. You could try a little bit of everything, but do you really want to overeat? It's like look,
Right.
but don't touch. So
Right.
I just feel that there may be some more temptations out there, and
I see. Got it. Okay, that's
but
how you
always
interpret that.
remember, without trust, sometimes that is more precious than even love, because those two things really go together. Like, you can love ice cream, you can love your friends, you can love where you live, but you really have to trust the situation to feel really anchored and comfortable in it.
Yep. All right, so now we're, I think, at Pisces, right? Were we at Pisces?
We're Capricorn.
Capricorn, excuse me. Capricorn.
Okay. Oh, Capricorns. They've been feeling this Pluto for a few years, and Pluto demands that, you knock down old ways and start new. So a lot of Capricorns have actually seen some things. They like to hold on to things too. Not so much like Taurus, but they like to know that they're in control. They may have found over the past few years they're not in as much control as they thought they were, which is a good thing to relinquish control. Many of them have, this past year, have found some relationships maybe didn't work out, but that maybe 2013 was a year just to purge. It wasn't working. So when you get into 2014, there's an opportunity to start brand new. Plus, there's something interesting. We're coming into a Venus retrograde, which happens once every 2 years. We're going to end 2013 with this Venus retrograde, and it's going to be operative until the 31st of January 2014, and actually in shadow until the beginning of March. So a lot of Capricorns may actually rekindle a relationship that they had with someone in the past, or reevaluate what they really want out of a relationship. Work-wise, they're doing good.
Yeah.
Work-wise, they're on the right track. They may even find that this is a year that even propels them even further. So they'll be okay in 2014, but it's going to be a year of maybe assessing relationships from before and seeing what they want to do.
Okay. And then how about the next astrological sign? Is that Pisces? What is it?
That's Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Okay. What we have for Aquarius right now, well, we're going to have Jupiter. When Jupiter moves into Leo in the summer, that's going to open the doors for a lot of new friendships, a lot of new partnerships, legal papers for Aquarians. And legal papers don't have to be bad. They can be contracts that you're signing or contracts that you're renewing. So look for contracts with Aquarians, especially as we get into August, September, October of 2014. Career, we have Saturn in the career sector for them, so that's been working harder. But working harder isn't bad, because they're finding that they're actually working smarter too. Something that was started maybe 3 years ago is taking off or taking root right now. So they're going to be okay with things. The only thing that we have going on for them that they need to watch, Neptune in Pisces, which is the second house. Sometimes money may seem like it comes in, but you can't, it's not predictable. Large amounts may come in or small amounts may come in. But the thing is, this year it will continue to come in. So, so that's a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Now, next sign is Pisces.
The next sign and the last sign is Pisces.
Okay.
Pisces has Neptune returning to their sign, and it has not been there for many, many years. So Pisces are intuitive. They're the psychics of the zodiac. They're very spiritual. They're very creative. They're very expressive. They're the ones who will feed stray cats and take in somebody who doesn't have a place. But with Neptune returning to their sign, we're going to find Pisces are really like Pisces on steroids.
Oh, wow.
They're going to find that this year they're really in tune with their psychic abilities. They're really in tune with their creativity. What we have for them, we have Jupiter, which is going to be in Leo, which may actually bring them the opportunity to find work. I mean, work where they are working with other people. A lot of Pisces, a lot of them have their own thing. They like to work in their own profession. They're usually in the creative field. Of course, you find a lot in the medical field too, because they always want to help people. But there's going to be new work opportunities for them this year, which could be exciting. And that's going to start the summer of 2014 and follow through. They have Uranus in their second house of money, and Pisces traditionally aren't great with money. With that Uranus there, going through Aries, their second house of money, it's like they may find large outputs of money for something they didn't expect to break, but they'll replace it because they're going to keep working this year. And the thing is, they're really going to be amazed at how they get more in touch with their own psychic abilities and their creative abilities. So for the most part, it'll be a good year. And every sign has its bad periods and its good periods, but there isn't anything that people can't get over because we're more resourceful than we know.
Yeah, and I think actually that's why you do an astrological reading, so that you know in advance. So you're kind of bracing yourself to know and be prepared.
Exactly.
So you can accept and deal with it.
You can see what's coming up.
Okay, so if you hit all 12?
We hit all 12.
All right, excellent. Okay, so tell folks if they wanted to get more of a reading, and what would they expect out of a full reading? Would it be more just even more details about all the different planets in their houses?
Well, a full reading, they would have to provide me with their birth time if they have it, and their place of birth, and if they moved far away from their place of birth, there's even something called a relocation chart.
Wow.
But what you can expect from a full reading is we know where these planets are in your chart. So it's imagine if you've had guests into your house, you know which room has the sloppy person, which room has the neat person, which one has the loud person. Right. So we know where these planets are all going to hang for in the different houses of your chart for the year. So it's a little bit better in getting the timing of events.
Yeah.
And like I said, time doesn't exist the way we knew it. We're finding out it's not linear.
Right.
It's a wave. So what it is, I tend to tell my clients, we are in the season of relationships. We are in the season of finances. So therefore, we're not going to say it has to be this day or that day. It's like, this is the best time to take advantage of any opportunities that come by. And then your free will comes in. If you decide not to go to that meeting, you decide not to return that phone call, maybe, it's not in your karma, because karma comes into play too. But and also in a full astrological reading, we look at the new moon each month, we look at the full moon each month, and if there are any retrogrades that are going to affect you specifically for the upcoming year. And it's fun. It's you have a little bit of a blueprint, like you said, about what may happen during the year, so you're prepared.
Yeah, and specific dates, right? So I know that, within this date, this is a particular time for creativity. So, you may start working on your website or whatever if you know that that's around. All right.
Just don't do it on a retrograde Mercury.
Okay, and your website is Lisa Baretta, BARRETTA.com. Thank you so much. Those are incredible on-the-spot readings. They're fantastic. All right. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for readings. It was fun to hear all the different readings of my friends and family, too. That was fun.
Thank you.
Okay. It's great Christmas gift, people. Right? Beginning of the new year.
It always fits.
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.